Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June the 5th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, today was a good day. I would say I humped and didn't get humped, so we love to see it. Let's see here if that's what you're into. I don't know. Let's see. How did the day go? What did I do? I worked. It was another day of mash and trash. I will say though, it was interesting because they finally showed up. The people who were supposed to fix the compactor, they finally arrived, and it took them all day. But luckily, it was just a day. The crusher is back on, so we love to see it. Now, granted, I didn't get to use it yet. But it's nice knowing that come tomorrow, I will be back to normal. We love that. I like that today was even a day that I wound up spending time on my phone because I even had slow time because we were just on it, everything's been nice and normal. And I really appreciate that. It's been real cool. Let's see here. Food corner. What did I eat last night? I had pasta bolognese. It was good. It was nice and yummy. Let's see here. I had the bolillo roll. I had what else do you have? A bagel, classic bagel, and a big salad. So that was yummy. I would say, was there any kind of twist? I had this remaining bit of capers, and I finally just said, fuck it, I'm gonna put capers on every part of this meal. And I gotta say, it was good. It was fine. I still say that they're a bit on the rubbery side, and that's a bit of maybe the only thing I don't love about capers, but that they do have a nice kind of taste profile to anything you add. I definitely want to have a day where I make a bagel schmear with salmon and capers, maybe some onion, and I think that would just be perfect. That'd be a perfect little snacky lunch. And I think about these kind of things sometimes. I take some time out of my day to daydream about food that I might eat another day. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's really all on the meat corner, the food corner. You're all caught up. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and do my startup, and then we'll go ahead and get into some news. Oh, yeah. Yummy. All right. From CBS News. Woman mayor shot dead in Mexico Day after Claudia Sheinbaum's historic presidential win. Ooh. The mayor of a town in western Mexico was killed on Monday, the regional government said, barely 24 hours after Claudia Sheinbaum was elected the Latin American country's first woman president. Officials said the mayor's bodyguard was also killed in the attack. Michoacan state government condemned the murder of the municipal president mayor of Cochia. I'm butchering that, I'm sorry. Yolanda Sanchez Figueroa. The regional interior ministry said in a post on social media. The murder of the woman mayor comes after Sheinbaum's landslide victory injected hope for change in a country riven with rampant gender-based violence. I think they also say it in a little bit of a factoid, kind of closing it out in this article, that I think 23 of the either presidential candidates, mayoral candidates, just political figures, I guess in general, have been killed. And so that's a very high number just in that, specific sect. But more on Sanchez. Sanchez, who was elected mayor in 2021 elections, was gunned down on a public road, according to local media, with one outlet reporting she was shot 19 times outside of a gym. Excuse me. According to a statement from the Michoacan Attorney General's office, Sanchez's bodyguard, identified as Jesus V., was also hit by the gunfire and died. The office said they were attacked by gunmen inside a white truck who opened fire from the moving vehicle, then escaped. So yeah, I mean, obviously that's very unfortunate. It seems to be a person who was just trying to, do the best they could, fight for justice, fight for their city, really. And, then they just wind up becoming like, a victim, a statistic in this violence, which is very sad. It's very unfortunate. But I will say, I mean, it is crazy that in the face of this, that there are still people who like will step up and at least try to do something. I know sometimes that can kind of suck too, because you see these people and you track them and then they wind up becoming like someone who is just bought off or what have you. But it is good to see the people who try, and it's always unfortunate to see people's, life snuffed out by, this kind of violence. The politician was previously kidnapped in September last year while leaving a shopping mall in the city of Guadalajara in the state of Jalisco, which neighbors Michoacan. 3 days later, the federal government said that she had been found alive. According to local media reports at the time, the kidnappers belonged to the powerful Jalisco Cartel New Generation, or CJNG. That is an organization that we have covered before, previously, like kind of doing weirdly real estate scams that were getting very like savage and brutal. But yeah, they have their fingers in a lot of little pies, a lot of little schemes and scams, as well as just all out, just brutal violence. Let's see, who allegedly threatened the mayor for opposing the criminal group's takeover of her municipality's police force. So yeah, I mean, it seems like more or less this is like a kind of example. But kind of closing on a thing I had said earlier, at least 23 political candidates were killed while campaigning before the elections, including one mayoral hopeful whose murder was captured on camera last week. Alfredo Cabrera's death came just one day after a mayoral candidate in the central Mexican state of Morelos was murdered. And they go through some other murders and things like that. So yeah, I mean, the state of Mexico, despite the cool progressive change, there's definitely still a lot going on. I know we've also covered yesterday, like the shit going on at the border. So things are very kinetic. Obviously I'll try to keep you posted. Let's go ahead and move on though. From The Guardian, Russian crime group behind London hospital's cyber attack, says experts. A group of Russian cybercriminals is behind the ransomware attack that halted operations and tests in major London NHS hospitals. The former chief executive of the National Cyber Security Center has said. I cannot pronounce this. I'm going to say Kieran Martin said the attack on the pathology services firm Synovis, it had led to a severe reduction in capacity and was a very, very serious incident. Hospitals declared a critical incident after the attack and have canceled operations and tests and been unable to carry out blood transfusions. I believe it was a ransomware attack, so I imagine the data was stolen and operations more or less had to be shut down until they either paid or there was some kind of intervention. Let's see here. Memos to NHS staff at King's College Hospital, Guy's, and St. Thomas, including the Royal Brompton and the Evelina London Children's Hospital, and primary care services in the capital, said there had been a major IT incident. Let's see. Asked on BBC Radio 4's Today program on Wednesday if it was known who attacked Synovis, Martin said, "Yes, we believe it is a Russian group of cybercriminals who call themselves Quilen." A separate source also confirmed to The Guardian that the Quilen group was the assailant. It is understood that there's no indication of the attack having spread to other areas of the NHS, despite Synovis having contracts with other NHS trusts around the country. Martin told The Guardian that the attack appeared to have been made as disruptive as possible for the company in a bid to secure a ransom. So yeah, inevitably this is all about a bottom line or a bottom dollar. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was another cyber attack that took place this week that I wanted to try to get into. Shit, since we're on the UK, I guess we can I'm actually going to do a little detour. Was this Nigel? See if I can get his name right. Farage, perfect. I might just see if I can snag a headline because I did want to riff about this. This is really cool. Fuck this guy, by the way. Let's see here. Here we go. We'll just read the headline. I kind of just wanted to riff on this a little bit because it did bring me joy. God, I love this I love this visage. I wish I put this in the thumbnail, but please look it up. Woman charged after milkshake thrown over Farage. A woman has been charged with assault after a banana milkshake was thrown over Nigel Farage. The Reform UK leader was leaving a pub in Clacton-on-Sea on Tuesday, having launched his general election candidacy for the constituency. A bit of a riff here, the elections in the UK are going. July 4th is when it's going to happen. Nigel Farage essentially had said, hey, I don't even give a shit about this. Actually, the elections in America are more important than this, because essentially he was supposed to be helping out Trump, trying to win the election there. Another fun fact about Farage is he was a guy who was super pro-Brexit, and him, Boris Johnson, these guys were key players in making it fucking happen. So this guy saying, oh, I'm not going to run. Oh, actually, psych, I changed my mind. You're allowed to change your mind, right? He potentially has, the motion. He has the potential to make some waves here. Most likely those waves are only going to fuck up Rishi Sunak's even more. So, I love to see it, let them fight, so to speak. But, who knows? Keir Starmer, I literally listened to a little bit of debate. This dude's so whack. He's not cool, bro. Not to mention, it's just one of the things where it's just very akin to the U.S. situation of, I don't care about the Labour Party. I fuck the Tories. It's really what it is. But, this Nigel Farage guy is a piece of shit. So I'm glad that Victoria Thomas Bowen, 25, I'm not glad that she's going to court over this shit, but I'm glad that she said, fuck this shit. Fuck this guy, dude. And just fucking used her milkshake the way that I want to use tomatoes. You feel me? That is what I'm saying. This is the kind of energy I want. I don't like seeing people fucking throw tomato soup on Warhols and all this shit, or the Mona Lisa, whatever. I don't care about that shit. That's not effective. That's not useful to me. A real one is going to say, yeah, I have this fucking milkshake and I love this shit. I want to be sipping on this shit right the fuck now. But I see my op. I see the problem. And I'm going to fucking talk about it. I'm going to fucking handle it, okay? And I love that shit. So, just wanted to riff on that a little bit. Yeah, there's more details here, but I just really wanted to cover it. It was very memeable. I was happy to talk about it online with my friends. So I figured, hey, while we're in the UK, we can go ahead and just cover that. Let's go ahead and, though, keep it moving. I'm sorry. I know, a bit of a detour. From CBS News, 2 Colorado towns agreed to $8.5 million settlement with woman who was handcuffed in police car when it was hit by a train. So, yeah, longtime listeners know, I think this might be the last chapter in this story. But 2 Colorado municipalities have reached a settlement with a woman who was seriously injured 2 years ago when the police patrol car she was in was struck by a freight train. Yarini Rios-Gonzalez, who was handcuffed and sitting in the back of a car while it was parked on some tracks in Weld County, will receive $8.5 million. The money will come from the city of Fort Lupton and the town of Platteville. See here. A police officer from each of those towns wound up facing charges as a result of the incident. 1 was fired. The collision happened on September 16th, 2022. Rios-Gonzalez was 20 at the time. She driving in a car. It looks like I missed the was. She was driving in a car that night when police officers pulled her over in front of a railroad crossing near Platteville. That was after a report had come in that she had threatened someone with a gun in a road rage incident. So, mindful, hey, she is a guilty party here. But after the officers pulled her over, she was handcuffed and placed in the police car of Sergeant Pablo Vasquez from the Platteville Police Department. Jordan Steinke of the Fort Lupton Police Department put her in Vasquez's cruiser, which was parked right above the railroad tracks. Body cam and dash cam video from police show what happens next, which is ridiculous. Like, I've said this before. Why would you park your fucking police car here? Like, it is just stupid and lazy to be like, yeah, I can just do this here and, like, you know, we'll chit chat, do a little filing, whatever the fuck, and we're fine. And then essentially you hear some train tracks, you fucking freeze up, and instead of protecting and serving, you just let this shit fucking happen. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's fuck these cops. Like, I'm surprised that only one of these motherfuckers got it. They both should have gotten fucking canned. It's also crazy too that she had to, Rios-Gonzalez had to do probation. Yeah, or let's see, Vasquez and Sanchez were charged with do they not have it here? I might have just pulled that from the New York Post, but I'm pretty sure she had to do some community service on top of that. Maybe not quote me on that part. But that being said, just kind of in regards to the settlement, 8.5, that's a good chunk of change. But I mean, it's reported that she has like fucking brain damage from this shit. I mean, literally, this is a train hitting a car and dragging it until the train stopped. And she was stuck there for that. You know what I mean? For what? Like, yes, you made a mistake, but like, this is some shit that like you would see in like, I don't know, a fucking like Boston Cop movie drama or some shit, like Departed 2. It's just crazy that this fucking shit happened. And it wasn't even like a malicious thing. It was over sheer stupidity. And like, I understand. These are people. People can be dumb and make fucking mistakes. When I fuck up at my job, potentially, I guess someone could die. Probably myself. I could like grind myself into fucking, I don't know, bits in a trash compactor. But like, I'm not protecting and serving anybody. I'm just mashing some trash at the end of the day. I'm very low stakes in what I do. And my pay fucking shows it, okay? God damn it. At the end of the day, if your job is, like I said, protecting and serving, I get it. You got to do your job, put her in the cop car. But like, why are you guys on the top of the tracks? That's insane. There's 2 cops here. How are you guys not putting your heads together and saying, this isn't a good idea? Maybe move your car. Maybe move the cruiser, bud. So yeah, I don't know if 8.5 is even enough here. Because once again, I always like to break this shit down. That is 8.5 at the top. It's still got to go through. You got to pay all your legal fees. You got to fucking pay all your medical fees. You got to pay your fucking attorney. I mark that separate because who knows how that fucking shit is worked out. And then you get like your cut, potentially like, I don't know, in stipends or what have you. Like this is money that's going to change your life in a way, but your life was fucked up from this event. It's not like it fucking balances it out. It almost never does. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't feel like it does anyway. And that's just my vibe on this shit. Anyway, I feel like that's more or less where we'll leave it with Rios-Gonzalez. And, you know, in a tale of a cruiser and a train. Crazy shit. It's also crazy to me, too. Like, I know I've closed other stories, but thinking about this and, like, wow, 2 years have passed. Like, we've gone through this whole thing. And, like, you know, from start to finish, nave to chops, if you will. So, I don't know, that's part of the reasons why I like to stop and kind of smell the roses. And it's like, yeah, that's why we do this shit, okay? You know, we've really yapped about this shit the whole way. Maybe not perfectly, of course not. But, like, hey, you know, we really experienced this story together. You and me. You and I don't fucking know. Whatever. Anyway, let's do our last story. We got to take it all the way to space, baby. With Boeing. So, yeah, let me go ahead and take my last break, and then we'll go ahead and finish it off. Or lift off. I don't know. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Ooh, ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Mamma mia. Breathe with me. From the Associated Press. Boeing launches NASA astronauts for the first time after years of delays. That sounds on par for Boeing. And also when we get into the other players, because SpaceX is involved. So we love that. We love that Elon Musk feature. Boeing launched astronauts for the first time Wednesday, belatedly joining SpaceX as a second taxi service for NASA. A pair of NASA test pilots blasted off aboard Boeing's Starliner capsule for the International Space Station, the first to fly the new spacecraft. The trip by Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams was expected to take 25 hours with an arrival Thursday. They will spend just over a week at the orbiting lab before climbing back into Starliner for the remote desert touchdown in the western U.S. on June 14th. Let's see here. What else do we want to pull here? Maybe this wasn't necessarily a collaboration with SpaceX, but it was Boeing and NASA teaming up. I know that NASA will essentially kind of buddy up with just about anyone and everyone, and I totally get that, because at the end of the day, NASA only gets so much, government money, so you're limited in that regard. So if you can kind of contract things out and, do kind of collaborative efforts with private organizations or what have you, then you stand a better chance of success. And, I get these kind of collaborative efforts. Even though I would say, obviously, do I trust an Elon Musk org? No, I don't. Do I trust Boeing? Of course fucking not. No. All the stories we covered on both of them, no way, no how. But I hope that, these kind of things bear fruit. That being said, what bummed me out here was this isn't like a big exploration thing. This is more like space taxi shit. And like that to me is very boring. Unless we're going to get into a world where we're doing crazy space taxi, that would be fucking fire. I would love to play that game. Maybe not live that experience. That seems like a lot of fucking money to potentially like die. But that would be a very cool video game. So like, I don't know, someone make that. But yeah, crazy space taxi or just normal space taxi, whatever, depending on how Boeing and SpaceX or, whoever's at the fucking wheel or, operating this fucking ship, however they decide to show up that day. I mean, it sounds cool in a way, but it's giving like rank low tier capitalism bullshit. Like, oh, you can get from here to there in your super, super private jet, man. Like, this seems so unnecessary for like maybe a group of people to go, I don't know, around the world super duper fast. If that's what it is, I don't fucking know. We'll see. Hopefully this bears more fruit than what I'm saying now. I do love some cool space joints. I love a good James Webb space thing. I know there was like some Euclid telescope thing that I didn't cover about a week ago. But I don't know. I just didn't really have like a good angle on it or any like super cool pictures to show. But it was cool. I'd have rather covered that, but this kind of had more juice to it, I guess. So here we are, talking about space taxis. I don't fucking know. That's where we're closing out. We'll call that good news because no one's dying here, A little bit of delays, but everyone made it up in space, and hopefully they make it all the way back down safely. So I'll keep you posted on all that. But we'll go ahead and call it an episode here. If you would like to help out, support the effort, become a newsie today, patreon.com/Isaiah News. Free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials that you're on. Hit the DMs, whatever. I should be available. You can leave a voice line. I wanted to like do a tip line, but I'm just like, I'm too lazy to really fuck with WhatsApp. I'm sorry, y'all. But like I said, you can hit my DMs, leave me some news tips. I would love to track that down like a basset hound and maybe talk about it on the pod. Let's see here. Other free ways to help out the effort, interact. The YouTube, hit that subscription button, buddy. Or whatever respective platform you're on. But really helps out algorithm, really helps me get seen, helps you see me. Hit that like button, leave a cool comment. That's always dope. Sharing's caring. It can be fun. And, but that's it. That's all I have. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.